Hey everybody, welcome back to Humankind and the final episode of the OpenDev Lucy. It's gonna be shut down in like 45 minutes. I don't know what happens, like if my game will just close and they say, oh, your period is up, go out, or if you just can't start it anymore. And I could survive if I just never closed the game and I could play it forever. But yeah, it's gonna be officially over in 45 minutes. So let's explore just a little more. Actually, we need to take a turn for that, of that continent there. Maybe we can get that open border agreement.
We've been going nowhere. Shall we try forward?
Sure, non-aggression. Why not? I mean, we won't be able to attack you guys now anyway. So I just want to see a little bit of your lands, and if you people would let me in, that would mean a great deal. Cannot make another proposition. And we cannot move in here, so we can't even declare war. Oh no, maybe we can select a unit. You need to declare war. Yeah, sure, we'll declare war. Does that mean we declare on... Yeah, we'd war with you, but they're a vassal. Of whom? We didn't even see the other two, which is kind of sad. We got two idle cities that I'll just work on this and then just some random stuff to keep off my playlist. There we go. And another one, you help with that as well. And then again some... Oops, I closed the infrastructure. That's not what we came here to do today. Just get some stuff that keeps you busy. Okay. And some diplomacy. Sent a peace proposal. Actually, no. I want to be... I mean, that's the only way for me to traverse your borders. So, war it is. Okay, now we can move these ships along a little bit. Now, I've been playing a very, very intense... well, I'll say weekend of OpenDev Lucy and of Humankind. And this is my first contact with the game. Well, I did read about it, of course. I did see pictures and all, but actually getting my hands on it and experiencing all the mechanics, it is my first time. Actually, might as well get this. What is this? Privateers. Okay, very cool. Nice. Maybe I should have explored that out of curiosity as well. And now we gotta try and overtake our ship. And we got another star for... I don't even know for what that was. But yeah, you do get stars rather fast. So what do I think of the game? As a... Well, let's first say in general as a 4X game. I think it's very well done. Same as all the Amplitude games so far. They really... It's really a 4X in its core, and it executes it just very, very well. It's the typical Amplitude brand of very pretty graphics, very useful graphics in the sense that you can really easily determine which land does what. I mean, maybe not by now, but if you play the game a while, that certainly is the case, because then you will see which land has which type of resource on it, and you can plan accordingly. And yeah, I made a rant about that already. So the game does look very well, and it does play very smoothly for that OpenDev beta, and I think they'll invest a bit more in the gameplay. It does have a couple of clunky things in it, like here the construction queue. If you move stuff around, it's not really that great. Just with the mouse handling, it feels like you're dragging it through mud. It's just slow and it's not precise. And the same goes for this moving population around. But that is, yeah, that is not an issue, I think, because that's going to probably be addressed as the devs will start to play the game themselves more and will actually get feedback and, yeah, do the final polishing, because that is stuff that falls under that current category. So I'm not going to hold myself up with that. Now, the core mechanics of the game, I really like. So I think in this one, usually I would say what I don't like about the game first, and then we'll get into the good stuff. But with this one, I think we'll put the dislikes at the end and start what works and what is good and what has potential, I think. Because it is still under development. So a lot of that stuff that might bother me might still change and might be patched out and might be a non-issue once the game's released. So yeah, I want to have that compact at the end. And we're gonna end one turn because I can't resist the blinking button, guys. I'm sorry. I'm gonna leave the idle cities idle, hopefully, if that's possible. I actually never checked if you can still end the turn even if you have idle stuff. Never checked. So what does work about the game? Number one is the... Okay, so this here ends up there probably. Yeah, we'll just send a ship up here. And we've been wasting... There we go. Another ship here that we can explore. Number one is the multitude of levels that you can develop your culture and your civilization on. That really is a big strength, one that only civilization had so far, where you could go with the religion and the civics aspects. You can have a tech tree, and you develop with so many different technologies through multiple ages of humankind or just any fantasy society, really doesn't matter. But just the levels and levels this game has. The fate system, where you can... I'm imagining if you wouldn't have a completely incompetent AI like we had, you would have a war for who's the predominant fate on your slice of the land that you settled on. You can shape your fate, which I really, really like. Because it depends, like... Yeah, it depends on... You could get just some flat bonuses and be done with it. Or you get the bonuses that actually scale with having more followers, and then depending on that, you can shape your religion to be either a rather small and weakish one, not so important, or you can put more emphasis on that. We didn't even build any religious districts, which is also a possibility. Well, not yet for us, but I think it has been mentioned a couple times, so yeah, that is a possibility you have. And then aside of that, we also have the influence system, which I didn't quite figure out that much what you could do when you really dominate influence over an AI or over a region. Probably there's a way to take them over or to slowly get a progress going and take over territory from them. I didn't figure it out yet. We did have that we could send an army and then pay some money to slowly take over a region, so that might be the way it works. But then you have to have open border treaties, and it's like you need some diplomacy and a very powerful influence output to go down that route. And of course the tech tree, I mean, that speaks for itself. So there's 3 levels you can develop on, plus the obvious being able to just build stuff on the map and get more territories. So I really, really like that. I also like the fame system, that you can kind of see a score right away. That's something I really have liked about the endless games and the yeah, the endless space and legend as well. So far I'm also digging the diplomacy. It's a fresh approach, I feel, with the treaties done this way, and it's a very, very easy way to see the treaties you already have in effect. We didn't do any trading, and we might try and trade last minutes, but yeah. We can't really... No, we can't trade everything. But they apparently don't want to buy any of our resources, which is very sad. Do you want to buy some? No. Hey, trade everything.
You intrigue me.
You gonna buy some stuff? No, they don't want. Okay. Yeah, so that I didn't experience much of that. There's also traders that you can send between cities, probably. They've been referred to. My very culture has a bonus for that. Which one is it? Oh, I can't see it here. But we'll get +2 for traders, which I was assuming are people working here in the money district, but they are not. So I didn't even find that mechanic. Maybe it's not there, or maybe you really need some trade routes through the diplomacy menu. So I can't say much to that. Now those are pretty much the strong suits of the game. I mean, the 4x part of it, there's not much to say about, right? It's well executed. The district system, nah, it's a bit complicated, especially when you think about the religious districts that come in there as well, and the special districts. You have to do a lot of planning ahead to get the most out of your cities. And as far as I can see, it's not very easy. Like, if we see a complete list of stuff we built here. And if I wanted to remove a district now, how would I go about that? Okay, I'll just build another one over it, I guess. But yeah, it's not that easy, and it's not that great to have to plan ahead so much. Which it might become intuitive, I don't know if you play it more, but for me it felt really like you're always missing out on optimization, and I gave up on it rather quickly and just built what I needed at the moment. But yeah, that is something we'll see. Maybe they can decomplicate it a little bit. It's not so much the district itself. I mean, that is something I could already arrange myself with the SimCity building, right? Which districts go where, and you plan ahead a little bit. That's manageable. But then also you get buildings that affect how the districts synergize, and that's where my head will explode trying to optimize that. Or you just don't do it. Okay, so apparently you can't end the turn when you don't have something in the queue. Well, we can fix that. Just get something in the queue and do the same here. Whatever. Okay, just so we can get a couple more turns seeing what we can see with those ships. So we can see the map a little bit, which is a lot that we left unexplored, which is kind of great. The pace at which you uncover land, I think it's pretty well done. So that part I really like. But now, one of the biggest problems, and probably you guys, if you're still watching, I mean, kudos to you, but it really felt like work a lot of the time, because with the millions of buildings you get, and the districts you have, and the cities you have, you are constantly filling queues in your cities, building stuff in your cities, and you just, I mean, I've been playing like non-stop, maybe 24 hours or so. So you can expect to get through a game, and we're in era 3 out of 7, right? So you can expect to get through a game in maybe 35-40 hours, right? I mean, that is, I think, a little bit too slow and a little bit too much micromanagement in those cities. I wish there were lesser buildings and they were more expensive and more meaningful, so you had more of a choice to make. They don't cost any upkeep, or there's no downside to building them, except the factor of time, which you have plenty of. So you're really constantly building like all the buildings and all the things everywhere in every city, and it gets very, very tedious. I'm not sure how it is for you watchers, but for me as player, is like I feel the talking about it, I feel the carpal tunnel crawling up my fingers, because it's like constantly micromanaging, clicking. I don't know. It takes out the strategy aspect a little bit, and it makes it feel grindy the more you progress. And I imagine that gets even worse when you have more territory and more technology. So that is something I really don't enjoy about the game, and I hope they find a way to address and fix. It's still a great game, don't get me wrong, but that is really something they didn't get right. And with that, and I think with the complexity and the amount of stuff you're able to build, the AI just isn't able to use it. I mean, they felt irrelevant since the first maybe 20 turns. After that, it's like we're always ahead, and now we can claim the wonder, and we finished our. Let's see. Yeah, that's a beauty. It's maybe not the best location in this valley here, but nonetheless, very pretty. Yeah, so again, we got 2 idle cities, and you can hear me taking a deep breath already, because it's just... Oh, more tedium, more managing, like, clicking through that building queue. And just open up a city. Which one is it? Okay, we didn't have Haojing that long. So just get some stuff in here. What's the other one? Another idle city. Yeah, this one here. I mean, it's a very productive city. And look at this. We still have, like, look at how many buildings we have. Is like, come on, guys. That plus the districts plus it's just a little bit too much. Maybe I'm too much of a power gamer, or maybe I'm too much thinking as content producer, that I want to have the game a little bit more tight, a little bit more meaningful in its decisions. But yeah, you guys let me know what you think in the comments there. So the AI is problem number 2. And it's not so much the AI, it's... I've once read about the game and the developer's vision that it doesn't matter, it doesn't pay that much to rush through the eras and get ahead that way, because people can earn fame in their respective culture, in their respective era, and they can catch up that way. And sadly, no, they cannot. Not in a million years. Once you get the ball rolling in this game, and if I had micromanaged, I mean, I breezed through a lot of the buildings, and I did some queues, production queues offline. I just really didn't care. I just wanted a productive city, and that to build all the improvements so we can see how the map develops. If I micromanage all that, it's gone even worse than we would snowball even worse. If we fought more wars, like these guys should have been eaten up a long time ago. Yeah, it will just snowball even worse. And with the technology, with the armies that we have, I mean, even now the armies that we built from the second era are superior to what the AI can field. What worse if I field my era 4 superior, like gunners and warships, and how much worse if we progress another era and have even stronger stuff that is strong and mobile. Maybe I don't know what the era is going to be, 5, 6, and 7, but we're going to get to the modern age as well, and atomic bombs and whatnot. So it's not true that you can play it slow and can play a different style. You have to min-max, you have to optimize, and which is really a shame. I really want this to work for a society-oriented playstyle, a religious-oriented playstyle, a tall empire, a wide empire, whatever you like, and that to be supported by these cultures. And that seemed to be the case when we played the first 20 turns, but it quickly was revealed that it isn't the case, and the AI just isn't able. I mean, I wouldn't even fathom where to start to program an AI that can deal with this with this game. I mean, it's incredible that they're even there and not just fizzling out and laying on their back. But yeah, it is quite complex. It has a lot of factors, but the thing is, the amount of factors, they don't really amount to that much diversity. I would much rather have harder decisions like we had in the early game. The early game, it's really, you have a lot of things you can do, but you have to decide. And we really had a hard time doing that. We'll get the Machu Picchu, because why not? Because the decisions really are that if or else type of decision, that you set your course for the next at least couple of turns. And it did really matter, and that changed a lot throughout the course of the game, and I wish they could make that theme stick, because that's what was really, really fun. and is really fun about a game like this. Being able to make your own empire and shape it in your own way, which to an extent you are, but it could be better. It could matter more what you have. So less buildings, more impactful ones, and that would already be a big step, I think. Whew, that was a lot of talking, guys. My throat is completely done, and I think I said all I wanted to say about the game. I thoroughly enjoyed playing it, and I would really recommend it as far as what I could even see in this beta, and it's gonna get a solid 5 more months of development. Well, actually 4, because we're at the end of the year, so and April is the 4th month, right? But they could release it at the end of April. So yeah, around 4 months more of development, patches, bug fixing, and I'm quite excited, and I think you can be too. It is definitely a Civilization rival, but it's not as smooth as I remember Civilization to be. Balancing is an issue, the AI is an issue, so there's stuff to work on, but I'm confident they can make it work. And the concept of it, the mixing and matching of eras and cultures, is just it's just good. I mean, there's nothing else to say. It's really in a genre that has been around since I can think. To be able to come up with an innovation like that and make it work in a setting that we all know and love, I mean, that's just to be admired, and I really wish them the very, very best that they could iron out these few last kinks. Anyway, guys, that will do it for this series and for this episode. I'm gonna put some ice down my throat and then go in hibernation for 3 days, and you guys enjoy your day, have a good one, and see you around for another series on this channel maybe.